today I'm going to start grooming Haas. This is our Haas. He has a different coat than Shay and Bruiser and Gage. He is a rough coat. His hair is straight. He's got a lot of it. It's thick, but his is a different texture altogether, and it's a different density. And if you notice, when you look at it, he has no curl whatsoever. His hair is just straight. So he poses a challenge it's a challenge for me to groom Haas, for him to look the way I think he needs to look. But we're going to go ahead and give it a shot today. Haas is also a challenge because he doesn't really care for it, so he tends to lay down on the table. So that's my other battle with Haas. The tools that I use on Haas, for the most part, it will be my hands, my fingers, and I might use my thinning shears to help with his neck, the hair that's sticking out here, and I might even try to thin out some of this. But the thinning shears and my stone, I use the stone a lot. That just helps me when I start to tug at the hair and try to pull it out. I may use some of the other tools. It just depends on how I feel about it once I get started. But with that said, let me get Haas on the table and see how it goes with Mr. Haas. First thing I want to do is kind of pinpoint the areas that seem to need the most work. It's usually his neck. He has a lot of hair in the neck area, and then he just has a lot of hair that needs to be shaped up around his legs and on his body and his head and face. But for the most part, Haas, he hates this. He does not like getting on the table. So as you can see, he kind of cowers down. So just take note that they don't always cooperate for me on the table. As I roll his neck and go down his body, I just really see a lot of long hair, long pieces of hair that need to come out. That's very important, is to get that old coat out and let the new coat grow in. If he is not releasing the hair, if I feel like it's just not quite ready to let go, I'm not going to continue. I'll wait until the coat tends to release it a little bit more. For us, they usually start releasing around this time of year because we're starting to get hot. So I probably will be okay once I start doing this. I know that TJ and BB, their hair just came out like and had absolutely no problem pulling their hair out. What I'm going to do first, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run my thinning shears through him just to kind of give myself a head start. He has a lot of hair. It gets to be overwhelming when you're pulling with your fingers. For me it is. And so I'm going to go ahead and run the thinning shears through him a little bit, and then I will then work with my fingers as far as getting his hair pulled out. And basically I'm just rolling it and letting the scissors do the work, kind of thin it out a little, and then the pieces that are left I will pull. He makes a mess too. When I'm done with him, I'm going to have hair all over me. He does not like this. It would be a lot easier for me if he would stand up, but I'm not going to battle. I choose my battles. Right now he's fine laying down. He doesn't care for this too much. And I kind of just alternate back and forth between using the scissors and using my stone. What seems like it's never going to end, all of a sudden you realize, oh wow, I've made some progress. He's not a fan of this at all. basically just grabbing the long hair and pulling with the stone in my finger, and it's coming out pretty easily. So I think he's ready. As far as his coat goes, he's ready to start getting the old coat out and letting that new coat come in. So I'm going to pause it for a little bit because it's going to be a while before I get to the next step. But for now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to continue rolling, pulling with the stone, and maybe taking a break, and I might thin it out a little bit with those thinning shears. This is the most time-consuming process for me with Haas, is just working all the way down his body. He's got a lot. I don't know how much of this you can see, but he has a lot of hair that needs to just be trimmed and shaped and pulled out, and he's got straight hair. And once I finish doing that, I will pick up and get back with you on the next